So Soulfire here, filming my second video. I know I promised kind of a garden kind of video. Well, the weather hates me and kind of killed all my plants. So we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to step into the light a little bit. First things first, of course, all lovely people need some of this here. If you can't read it, this is my teacup. Okay, so it says you can't buy happiness, but you can buy tea, and that's kind of the same thing. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be drinking some tea here. I got some Earl Grey, some honey. I'm kind of excited about it, so definitely need some tea. So what I'm going to be doing in this video, as you can tell, I'm kind of filming in similar places last time. I'm still in kind of my studio, altar space here. So I'm still kind of in the same place. One thing I'm going to do, and I kind of talked to my hubby about this, I'm probably going to be taking off the mask. Because I've kind of come into this realization that not a lot of people are going to find me that I know specifically that don't know about me being a witch. I mean, I'm in the closet, definitely. I don't have a lot of people who know about a lot of things, and that's completely fine. But I also don't know a lot of people that are sitting here on YouTube watching random videos about witchy topics. So I really don't think that they are going to find these videos. So I guess I kind of am going to reintroduce myself here. So I'm going to put aside this lovely mask here and actually exchange it for these lovely glasses that I am going to need to actually read all of the things that I'm going to, or actually not really read, but tell you all the things I want to tell you. So this is actually Soulfire. This is me without my mask. So nice to meet you. Hi. How you doing? So I'm here actually today because I want to do the What's Your Craft tag. And I know that Azura Dragonfeather has done it. A couple other people who have done it that I can't specifically remember, so I'm sorry if I didn't say your name. So it's about, it's a ton of questions actually. It's about 30 questions, and I really had to dig deep inside and figure out the answers because I really haven't thought about my path in a specific way. And this really helped me figure out just different things about myself that I was like, oh, it really made me think. So, by the way, I'm digging the whole scarf thing. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing the What's Your Craft tag, and I'm going to be going through the different questions, and so you can learn a little bit more about me. And I'm going to definitely encourage any closeted witch to really step out of your comfort zone and to do something like this, because what's neat about YouTube is, the thing about it is there's so much content, and unless people are searching for it, they're not going to specifically find your video. So that's something that I would really encourage you to do, especially if it's something that you'd like to do and, you know, show the world. Show the world. Show the world. See, I can't get my camera angle here. It's just driving me crazy. So my first kind of question here, it says, when or how did you first know you were a witch? My question, or my answer, really doesn't say it specifically. Right now it says I've known for a long time that I was different. I really don't fit into my family. I still really don't fit into my family. I don't really fit in a lot of different places. I feel like that one little puzzle piece, you know, that you find in a box that really doesn't fit with that puzzle, but goes with like a different puzzle somewhere else that you don't know where it is. So that's kind of how I feel. I really didn't specifically find out I was a witch until about 3 years ago. Actually, it was really kind of out of the blue and kind of random, and that came from D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. The person who was actually there was the first person who introduced me to magic, and I've kind of been in and out of it ever since. So I guess the long words escape my mouth, do not come out. I'm sorry. How long have I been practicing? About on and off for about 2.5 years. For a while, it was because of somebody else. I was doing something specific in my practice because of somebody else rather than practicing for me. Now I'm back in it. I mean, you see me sitting here in my space. I'm in it for me. I mean, you know, all of these different things behind me mean something to me. As far as like what kind of witch I am, I'm really not a fan of labels, but I guess I would say I'm an artistic witch. I like to use the art, the poetry, the painting, the drawing, all of those different creative elements into my practice. I love figuring things out to use and to offer to the different I guess not really deities. I'm kind of like tradition or path that I follow, you know, kind of going into the next question here. I don't really follow a specific path or tradition. I'm still kind of, I've been a Christian for most of my life. I probably would still identify as a Christian witch thing, something. Not to offend anybody who is a Christian witch, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say I'm confused, is basically what I'm trying to say. Actually, how I put it here in my notes or my post that's going to be going on Hatchlings, I follow the wildfire, which is in my soul, namely the inspiration that's inside me. There's a reason my name is Soulfire. It's a completely pointed name. It really packs a punch. It means a lot to me. It literally is the fire in my soul, and that's what I follow. As far as if my craft is devotional or secular, how do I incorporate faith? This question was a little bit tough. I would say that my craft is devotional, but it's also secular. So I'm still kind of trying to grasp that part of my practice. Like I said, I still go to church and I'm still kind of, you know, dealing back and forth with different things that I believe. I believe very much in myself and what I would like to do in my practice. I have a very close relationship with the Phoenix, and I definitely feel a connection with the Celtic goddess Brigid, but I'm not specifically practicing with or worshiping that specific goddess. I do have a connection with her, and I do have a token for her on my altar, but I don't specifically work with her all the time. Like I said, I have a connection, but not a specific faith. As far as the next question, of course, are you closeted or open? I am closeted. Shh. At times it's difficult, but honestly, I wouldn't really change anything about my practice. As you can tell, even though I'm closeted, I'm able to have my own space, and that is probably the best thing that I could ever have. I am a solitary witch, but every now and then I do have my husband in my practice. He works a lot with crystal grids, and he helps me a lot with the crystal magic and chakras and those kinds of things, and he really is probably the most understanding man that I could have in my life. He is he's learning a lot, and I think my path is really helping him to kind of expand his own path and his own ideas of the things around us. Something that I wish somebody had told me when I first started, there's magic in all of us. I believe that every single person has some type of magic in them, and it may be them that has to bring it out, but it also can be brought up by somebody else. And another thing I would say would be, I wish somebody would have told me that it doesn't really matter what other people think. Especially, but I mean, people say that all the time, and, oh, don't care what people think. No, I mean, like, if you feel that you are an artistic witch, be an artistic witch, and that is exactly what I am, and I love that. I have so much confidence in that, and I wish people would have told me that I could do my own thing, that I didn't have to follow some specific tradition. And that's really what I would like to kind of give to the world of the YouTubes, is definitely understand that you can follow your own path, your own tradition, your own ideas. I'm sorry if I keep getting distracted. My face is very lovely over here and is on this side of my computer. I kind of want to put them in the face in the middle, but then I can't read it. Yeah. So, sorry if I kind of stare at myself. I'm gorgeous. What resource was most valuable in beginning my practice? I would say the books by Silver Ravenwolf were probably the most valuable to me in the beginning of my practice. And now I would say a lot has changed. I mean, I still have all of my books. I still read a lot, or as much as I can. You know, jobs, adulting. I still like to read all of those books. I actually go back and read my notes and all of that stuff. But probably my most valuable knowledge now would be that I can use my art in my practice. Any of it. I mean, I can use my drawing. I can use my woodcrafting. I can use whatever the hell I want in my practice. And it's just so awesome. My first spell was probably a protection spell done in a vial with herbs. It's probably, you know, probably about that big. I would probably say successful because my husband, I gave one to my husband. Mine is still with me all the time, but his broke. And so did something else that I had given him that was a protection charm. And it saved him actually from a car accident. If he wouldn't have been, like, he had got stopped somewhere and then probably 2 to 4 car lengths ahead of him, he would have been into a car accident. And right after that, he reached into his pocket. There was no way that that thing should have broke. And he reached and he pulled out. He's like, wow, it broke. And so I definitely think it worked. And I made another one. And he carries that one around in his pocket now because the other one broke. What do I do when I feel out of touch with my craft? In all honesty, I don't feel much. When I'm out of touch with my craft, I'm really out of touch with myself. I feel a lot of sadness. I feel a lot of angst. I feel really out of balance. And most of the time, I don't really want to come in here. I don't want to have anything to do with anything. And that's probably not that good of an idea. But that happens. So what I really want to do, and what I'd like to do is I draw. Now what I do each night, probably about 20 minutes before I go to bed, I do a drawing. And it really helps me take the emotions from the entire day and put them on paper and keep them there. And it probably has helped me get back in touch with my craft and keep me a little bit more balanced. I may have a lot of sadness and a lot of angst, but I still am able to take all those emotions from one day and put them down on a piece of paper and just leave them there. And it's probably the coolest feeling ever. Have I ever doubted my faith or ability? Yeah, it happens all the time. And honestly, it probably happens more so because of the environment I'm in. I am a closeted witch, like I had said before, and sometimes it is very difficult and to stay true to who I am and what I want to do in my craft. And so I do doubt my ability, and I do doubt a lot of things about myself. But like I said, being an artistic witch, what brings me back, what brings me down, what brings me grounded is drawing. Sometimes when I'm feeling really angsty and really doubty, I guess, is using charcoal. Charcoal would probably be my favorite medium. I can get my hands all full of charcoal and then kind of go like this on my face. It's kind of fantastic. And so I walk around with charcoal all over my face. My husband kind of looks at me and goes, "Feel a little angsty today, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then he just kind of, okay. So it's definitely something that has helped me a lot. Some grounding techniques that work for me. I definitely need to learn more. But one of my favorite things to do would probably be sit in in my park. Not my park. Sit in the park down the street from me. And my favorite spot is right next to the water. And it's just shiny and gorgeous and just fantastic. And it's probably the one place that I am the most grounded. My biggest pet peeve. Ooh, I don't think you want me to get into that one. That could be a whole nother video all by itself. But I guess my biggest pet peeve would probably be the people who don't want to do their own research. What is the point? If you are going to be on your own path in witchcraft, study, and all of those things, why don't you study and research? Nobody's going to do it for you. You can't expect that. Their path is not your path. So I guess that would probably be my biggest pet peeve, is when people don't do their own research and expect somebody else to do it for them. Blech. Yuck. What is my biggest spell disaster? I don't have a specific disaster, although I've had spells that haven't worked. Specifically, like, I guess, a fear spell that I've casted before, and I have not seen any results, whether positive or negative, really. And I guess I haven't had a disaster yet. I'll let you know if I do, and I mean, I could do a video on that, but knock on wood, I have not had one yet. My view on black magic, I guess I don't have a specific view on it. I know it's there. I don't really have a positive or negative feel about it. I know some people use it, some people don't. Some people feel about it, and some people don't. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a very neutral person on it. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't, don't. I guess that's how I feel about it. Is witchcraft an everyday thing, or only for special occasions? I would say it's an everyday thing. It's a lifestyle choice. Just like being a broom closet witch. Broom closet witches definitely is a lifestyle apart from other witches who are in the open. You know, we have to do a lot of different things as far as, like, hiding goes, and, you know, altars. Excuse me. Tea. I think I need some honey. But definitely witchcraft, I would say, would be for any occasion, any time. It's definitely an everyday thing. Do I meditate? I try. Yeah, when I do meditate, it usually works. I still have a hard time with it. I probably could learn how to do it better. One of the, I guess, the meditations that probably work the best for me would be the guided meditations. And I just got tea all over the floor. I'm sorry if I'm, like, whoops. I have a hard time just putting on music and sitting in the middle of the room, doing nothing, just sitting there. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. I'm not a very I'm not a very patient person. So if I'm doing a guided meditation, it's a little bit easier because there's a voice telling me, okay, now you're thinking about this. Okay, now do this. It's a lot better than specifically listening to myself and going, now you must, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, my voice kind of just goes blah, blah, blah to me. It's not a good thing. So definitely better for guided meditation. Honey. Yeah, okay. Do I practice divination? Ooh, yes, I do. I probably have the specific one that I use tarot cards and I use oracle cards. I do have runes. I haven't really utilized those as much as I would have liked, and I kind of would like to, but I focus a lot more on the tarot and the oracle cards. I've just got recently into oracle cards and I absolutely love them. And tarot, of course, I love too. I probably have 7 to 10 decks, including tarot and oracle, and each one just gives me a different feel, and I absolutely love it. I love working with them, and I probably need to work with them more. That's probably what they're saying. I have kind of a little special drawer for each deck, and they're a lot of fun to use, definitely. Moon phases, planetary correspondence. Days of the week are relevant or key. I think depending on what you're doing, the intention, they could matter greatly or they don't matter at all. I would say that specifically it's completely up to the witch. For me, depending on what I'm doing, I like to look at the moon phases and go, oh, this is a full moon. I know this is a little bit different than a new moon, so I want to do this kind of spell on this kind of day. I have to do a lot more research that way if I want to do that. My husband is a lot more into where planets are, so if I do want to know something like that, I definitely do ask him. So, like I said, completely up to the witch. For me, it would take a huge amount of studying to figure out and oh my god, excuse me. So, yeah, if I want to do like a big giant spell and, you know, like use the power of the full moon, yeah, definitely. I'm going to look up that specific new moon or full moon and go, bam! Okay, that's what it is. Other than that, I mean, simple spells and things like that, I really don't care. Spell language, do I like it simple? Dress it up? Poetry? Is it silent? I am 105% poetry. I love crafting spells using poetry. It's so much more meaning to me. The intent is so much easier to put in. I love rhyming. I love iambic pentameter. Not that I actually specifically write anything in iambic pentameter. I just like saying iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter. It's just so much easier. And honestly, that's probably one of the things that really showed me that I had a gift for all of these things. Spellcrafting and magic in general. I pour emotion and intent into every single one of my poems. And if I go back, I look at them and I go, oh my god, that's a spell! Look at that! I was so little! And yeah. So definitely poetry. I definitely like to dress it up. I love crafting spells. Definitely a lot of fun. Do I keep a book of shadows / grimoire? By the way, I love that word, grimoire. It's kind of like the French word like croissant. I do. Oh, yeah. Going back to the question. I do keep a book of shadows / grimoire. I even have a book dedicated specifically to my relationship with fire or Phoenix. I probably have way too many books connected and crafted for my path. I have sketchbooks. I have, you know, notebooks. Yeah, I got it all. I got way too many. Definitely. Yeah. Do I have an altar? Yes, I do. Now, if I can bend the right way... There it is. Is it dedicated to anything specific? No. I would say I have a lot of different things on my altar. A lot of things that are specific and representative of my path. I have the 4 elements on my altar. I have a candle for each one, and then I have a specific item for each one. I have a tiger on my altar. I have lots of different things. I have a quill on my altar. I'm trying to think of the feather it's made out of. A peacock feather, and it's probably one of my favorite things. But yeah, definitely representing whole lot of different things, and this could be a whole nother post just on my altar. Thoughts on the afterlife? I believe in it. Yeah. As of right now, I'm not sure specifically what afterlife I believe in, but I know there is one. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. Would I teach and practice witchcraft to my children? I believe I would. Yes. I think it would be difficult being in the broom closet and trying to explain, like, why my kids are going around talking about, like, yay, we're gonna go celebrate Ostara, yay! So trying to describe that, or, you know, have the kids be old enough to understand the fact that they can't tell, like, these people because, you know, it's a secret. I don't currently have any kids, so I don't have to worry about that. Do I have a totem animal? If so, what is it? Not quite yet. I haven't dove in to specifically that, but I'm looking forward to it. Some witchy books that have influenced you. I would say Silver Ravenwolf's book has really influenced me. I have worked on and read some other things that I really like. I can't there's a poetry book that I really like that talks about a lot of very metaphysical properties and witchcraft, and just fantastic. I love it. I can't specifically figure out the name in my brain right now. Tools. I would say that anything works if I want to use it. I use a lot of random things in my practice. Being a closeted witch, I don't use normal tools. Like I said, I have a feather pen on my altar that is used for a specific, thing. I use pens, I use pencils, I use a lot of random objects that may look like just random crap to other people. Do I have a magical name? Yeah, I would say that the magical name, or the one that speaks to me the most, is my name that I have introduced myself here, is Soulfire, which it is also in the Hatchling clan. So, yeah, Soulfire. Soul on fire. Oh, yeah. And the last thing, I guess my favorites. So it says season, herb, crystal, rune, tarot card, symbol, or sigil. I would say my favorite season would have to be autumn. I just love the colors. Just something just absolutely beautiful, especially as an artist. I love the colors. I love how everything, goes to a dormant state and then gets ready for the next time it grows. It's just the neatest thing. I would say that my favorite herb would be mint, although the weather killed my mint. Grr, still not happy about that. My favorite crystal would have to be either the lovely tiger's eye or carnelian. Like I said earlier, I don't have really a lot of experience with runes, so I don't have a specific favorite rune. My favorite tarot card would have to be the transition or death card, especially in one of my tarot decks, I believe it's Shadowscapes. The death card is a phoenix. And so that's definitely why one of my favorite cards is the death card. Symbol or sigil. I have many symbols and sigils that I have created myself. I have one specifically that means a lot to me. So I guess that would be my favorite, but you don't know what it looks like. Maybe I'll have to find it, and I will definitely use it in my next video. But that is all for my video now. I'm gonna enjoy my looks like a blank tea mug. There it is! Ta-da! I'm going to enjoy this lovely Earl Grey tea. And I hope you enjoyed my video. And you learned a little bit more about me. If you are a closeted witch, I encourage you to make content. Definitely for other closeted witches so they can see that it is not impossible. So with that, lovelies, I bid thee goodbye.